Hi, finally the journal is done. The envelope journal. Just to recap, it was empty way before. It looked like this. Just regular $1 box of envelopes. And this what the results are. So my theme was the ocean. I love ocean, the beach, so I decided I wanted to try one. In the first journal, I explained on the first clip, I explained how I did these, my templates and everything. So now I'm gonna go through the finished journal. This one's mine. I'm gonna give some tips on in the walkthrough, okay, where I messed up, my suggestions. So let's get into it. This is the front of it. This was just a beach paper that I found in one of the craft stores. Which one, I don't know. I live in Massachusetts, so I have Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and AC Moore. So I don't know which one it was. My apologies. But you can find these theme papers in any of the craft stores. So here, my first era was the corner to put my charm on. I always like to do either some kind of, if you have seen any of my videos on my Orchard Books journals, you'll see that I always like to put something in the corner or something in the front. It doesn't matter, somewhere. But with these, I decided I wanted to do something in the corner. As you can see, I put seashells, sandals, sunglasses, these little things. I shop a lot in the thrift stores, so I always find little knickknacks. That's where I bought these. These are Barbie glasses, which I just used my crocodile and made a hole and attached. That's just a regular chain from a necklace. So I love to go into those stores because you can find vintage things and it's less expensive. And face it, you want to be unique, you're gonna be unique when you shop there, because you can't find, you know, most of the stuff that are there in these thrift stores, in regular craft stores, because they're old. Usually people, that's what they do, they just give away or sell their you know, antique stuff that's been in the attic forever or in the garage forever. Anyway, so that's what I did. My mistake was that I did not reinforce the spine, and what I mean is here, when you put it together, right, it's just the envelope. See how the first envelope meets the last envelope. So let me grab a pencil here, grab my Stabilo. So here you see this is the front envelope and this is the last envelope. So the last envelope, I did a tutorial on this, a walkthrough. The last envelope goes into this envelope, which becomes the back, and this is the flap from the first envelope. So really, basically, what's holding everything together really is in the spine is the flap from this envelope. So if you want to do a dangle, like something like this, reinforce that. How do you reinforce? You just take extra piece of paper. Let me just grab this. Just grab an extra piece of paper. And this is how I do it in some of my walkthroughs from my junk journal. So you can look up some of those. You put your paper here, glue it, fold it. You know, of course, you're gonna have to measure, or just cut it by, just fuzzy cut it. That's what I usually do. and that will reinforce it. Now, you can use paper, you can use fabric, you can use tape, painter's tape. You can use whatever you have in hand to reinforce it. I suggest that you try to stay with the theme of your book. So, for instance, let's say you're gonna cover the your books with this page. I suggest you probably cut a piece of the same page that you're gonna be covering your book with, and just lay it there first, and then on top, then you layer your paper. That'll reinforce your spine. How did I attach mine? I just kind of winged it, and I put glue from my glue gun there, hot glue. So it's holding, but because it's for me, it doesn't really matter. So here, another suggestion is, if you're gonna put grommets, like I have here, these little grommets, right there, okay, I suggest that if you're gonna use any kind of tag to slip in from the top, make it thin. See how it's not interfering with the grommet? Okay, if you are using a larger, let me take that off, a larger like this one, it will interfere, okay, unless you make it skinnier. But of course, that's up to you. I wanted to use a grommet. So this is the front. So as we open it up, I just kind of left it plain. Of course, I used, what is this one? Vintage Photo Distress for the edges. I like mine to look a little messy and oldish, but if you want a cleaner edging, I suggest that you just ink up the whole envelope. So what I'm trying to say is ink it up like this, okay? If you ink it up, right? I hope you can see that, because you know what? Since I gotta ink it up anyway, I'll show you. So just ink up the edges first, right? That way, that's just if you like it really neat. To me, I don't care. I like it. I like that style. But for you, if you like it neater, then what you do is you ink it up, and when you lay down your paper, I'm trying to do it with this 12 by 12 sheets, when you lay it down, it looks much neater, okay? All right, that's tip number 3, I guess. Who's counting? All right, so I like to put something on the corners just to give it a little bit of accent to the page. I always do that. You don't have to. You could either, and if you look for my other walkthrough from my other journals, you can see where I use words too. So you can use a few words or a quote on the top, on the bottom, on the side. It's up to you. Sky's the limit to make these. Then on the next one, I did, which I'm going to show you. I'm going to do a small quick tutorial on this, so I'm going to try to make this walkthrough quick. What I did was, these are 3D stickers. Well, they're not actually stickers. They're like cardstock, but you know, they're 3D, okay? It has like, and these, again, you can make them yourself. You don't have to go out and buy them. You can use your punches to punch anything out and do it this way. I have the 3D, if you can see the 3D little sponges there, okay, stickers. You put the 3D in there. Make sure you put a little bit of glue, because honestly, they're not reliable. They fell on me like 2 or 3 times, this one. And then what I did, so if you buy them already done, peel them softly, easily, they come off if you peel them softly. Use the same one, glue it on here. Oh, I don't want to glue it back, and then glue the sticker on top, or the embellishment on top, of however it is. And then you have a tuck, okay? Now, on the envelope, this was just an ordinary small little envelope. I couldn't tell you, they're probably 4 inches maybe, 3.5 inches, okay, by 2.5. So 3.5 by 2.5. You don't have to do it this way, this size. You can even do it as big as the page. It's up to you again. I just happened to have these, and I did. This here was a page from a notepad, and I cut around it. I always like to leave a little border for me. That's my style. I just like it. So I did there. I did it here. I covered it, and that was just like one sheet. I covered it there. Again, I inked the edges. I didn't go crazy embellishing, because as I go journaling, maybe I want to put something here or right around the edges of the envelope. I don't know. So I kind of tried to leave a lot of it a little bit plain. Then the card, I used the same, see? Bingo. I love it. So that's the page, that's the corner of the page. So I took that piece and I took that piece. And then I just put this page here, that's tentacles from an octopus, since this is a beach, an ocean, sea, beach, whatever you might call it, theme. And I pasted there. Now these come from the adult books that you color, and I'm gonna ink the edges for you. And then camera, see, no big deal. And I think I showed you a tip too. You can take a little one of those wet little napkins, right? A wet one. Dollar Tree sells them. And you can, since they're water activated, you can go across and pick up, see it? Pick up some of that ink if you put too much, and voila. And you can even do the edges, okay? So that's another tip. So I put it in here, slide it in, and that's a journaling spot. The next page is just simple. Again, I wanted to leave it simple because I don't know if I wanted to add anything to it. I put a little crab here in the corner. I always like to put an accent on it. Little castle, little shell in the back. And that's the back. That's the, see, like here, that's a perfect example of what I was talking about, putting, you know, words. The living is easy. And then this was a card that I found in a thrift store. I found a few of them, and I thought they were great. And for 25 cents, you can't go wrong. So guess what I did? Out of the card, I made a journaling book. And these are the journal pages that I was talking to you that I used in the front. So I put a few journaling pages in there. And voila, in here she is. Okay, now what did I do for the back? This is what I did. So remember I just earlier spoke about the adult coloring books. So I didn't want it to be all journaling. I wanted to be able to color. I like coloring. It relaxes me sometimes when I'm watching TV. So I did that. So these are just 2 pages that I took. Okay, and the book was pretty big. I would say it was about 9 or 10 by 8, I believe the pages were. But again, any adult journaling book will do if you want to go like that. And they have so many different ones that, I mean, you can pick it up and use it for, you know, or theme. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And then this is the back. And again, I wrote here, I got this one, Fun Sand Hot. And I put a little turtle there, sea turtle, shell in the back, and it's done. And another thing you can do, each time that you color in your journal, you can flip it like that, just like I did. So all the colors that you put into it would be, you know, facing the front. Or you can leave it like that. It's up to you. So, yeah, I hope you like it. So, let's get into the mini tutorial on the envelope. I wanted to show you what I did and how I did it. So, let me just reach out for a pencil. I'm gonna need a pencil, 2 pages and a card, my glue, and scissors. So, my next journal is gonna be a vintage journal. Yes. I don't know why I got stuck. Okay, so I want to do the front in roses. So guess what I did? Just follow me. I don't measure. I don't. But this is how I do it. Okay, of course you can measure if you like to measure. I don't. So I kind of take my envelope, I lay it in the corner like that. So it's only a little bit that's showing on each side. See how, I hope this is close enough, but it's here. I'll just show you. I trace it. So I probably left like, I don't know, 1/4 inch maybe, or even less than that. And I just trace it. Am I in? Yes, I'm focused. So I just come and I cut it. I'm not good at tutorials, so please bear with me. I know that as I do them, I'll get better and better and better, because like they say, practice. I don't believe practice makes perfect, but it makes better. So here I go. So now, see how it just shows the edges? So let me glue this down. And again, yeah, I don't cut the pieces and then I put it together. I just kind of, oh, geez. I just kind of, there goes my dog. I banged and he's out because he thinks somebody's trying to get into the house. Sorry about that. Okay. Fred, go lay down. So there we go. And I think I spoke about this. It's just a scraper that I picked up in one of my home stores. Okay. I know I have a dry napkin. I like to clean it off because when you do that, you're like kind of squeegeeing it flat. So that's the front. Now I should have done, which it's not too late, but ink the edges first so I can show you, but I'll do it right now. Okay, so these are the edges. Now here, I'm gonna ink first the edges so you can see both ways. Again, because I don't do this often, I forget and I do it after. Here, this is me just doing it the hard way. You can put a piece of paper in there, but that's just me. Okay, so that's inked up. How do I do the inside? This side, I'll show you right now. I do the same exact process. I take it, on this side, I just do kind of just a little bit because you want it to be just a tiny bit snug. So I just go like this. I have another corner. I hope you saw that I'm gonna go this way, cut it out. some measurements. I take the piece, I look at it, which side do I want prefer. You can always, you slip it in. Right there. I think I like that with the rose. Put it like this. Measure it like that first to see where, if there's an image, what image you want. The top or the bottom. I slip it in there. It's a little snug in there. I take my pencil and lightly, I go this way. Try not to use a dark pencil because you may mark the edges. If you like that, you can leave it like that also. Then I just come here, cut it out like that, right? And I just measure it. So I want it just a tad bit smaller. Again, because the shape is already there, you just follow that shape. And you snip whatever you don't like. Okay, see it? Now I want to show you what it looks like, because remember I inked up there first, so I don't want to bang it. You know what, I need to find some sort of cup or something where I can hold my glue down so I don't have to. And I suggest that you do the edges first because you want them nice and glued so they won't come up, the edges. So then you go like this. Grab your squeegee, squeeze it out. See the glue? I don't know if you can see it. Squeeze it out. Clean the edge. And see it? So you could either do it either way. You can just ink up the edges. I like this, like old, see how it looks like worn out there in the edges? I like doing it like that. I like just, but if you want a cleaner, crisp look, then you can just do it before you place your paper. This part here, okay, I like to do the inside. How did I do? Let me see, how did I do the other one? Okay, yeah, I left this part and I did the inside. So I'm gonna do it exactly like I did on this book, okay? Again, you take the same sheet that you used and you can look at it and see what spot you want. To me, really, with this one, since the pattern is like same thing over and over, it doesn't matter. I try to use the least amount of paper. So I take it and I do the same process. I lay it there. Actually, this way. Put it right there, since it's already in the corner. You can put it in any edge you like. It doesn't really matter. And I suggest you do it this way, and I'm going to explain to you before I cut it why. Okay? Nothing's perfect in the world, okay? And sometimes you can be like a pinch, you know, bigger on one side. You never know, okay? I know because it's happened to me. I've seen it in envelopes, and I'm like, wow, this is supposed to be exact measurements. But just in case, I always, because I want this part on here, then I do it this way, okay? Now let's say that you wanted the white on here, then you put the envelope on the opposite side, okay? So here I come again, and I snip it, fuzzy cut it. Now I'm not I mean, I have all kinds of gadgets and tools, and I use them appropriately, but for this type of stuff, I don't. You can if you want to, because I've seen people cut triangles with the cutting board, and I think that's amazing. I can't do it. Okay, so here we go. So now if you want to make it a little bit smaller, again, just go by the edges. Snip, 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 and snip. Okay, let's see if I did this right. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna do it before I glue it again, okay? You take it and just, there we go. Do it here and here. I usually just glue it and then I do it, but I just want to show you this way. So again, you take it and, oh, I need to make more glue. And you go around the edges. Not a lot, because you know what? When you put a little bit down with the nozzle, you just spread it. That's what I do. I had these little fancy thin nozzles, and you know what? I couldn't be bothered with it because I make my own glue, and I use Eileen's tacky glue, so that's really thick, so I just gave up on that and I just kind of use this, and again I spread it anyway. Okay, again, squeegee it so it can be flat. It won't have any bubbles on you. Always clean it because then it gets gunky. And there we go. So then you come and you take and you do the edges again. Again, I'm gonna leave the, you can always do the envelope too. You can use this, you can do this flap too. But again, if you wanna write something or put a little, add another embellishment on there or something, so, okay. So that's what that looks like. Let's do the inside. On this one, I chose this paper, okay? And I do the same exact process. I look for my pencil. Okay, so I'm gonna see. I think I'll go with the pink. This color right here, pink and yeah, that spot. Okay, so you take your card, and again, this is my process. You can measure it if you want to. I just put it in the corner, just like this. I do it like this so many times that I'm just kind of used to it. See where, I hope that I don't want to mess with this because I'm recording on my phone, on my iPhone, and if I pause it or do something to it, forget about it. I don't want it to stop. But here, I'm hoping you can see it. It's like, I don't know, a quarter of an inch, I guess. Just a smidgen, I would say. Okay? And then, again, boom. Because if you do it in this corner where it's like that, you can center the paper. I discovered that by accident. So you could just go like that. Again, I saw it was a little bit, it was moved a little bit. It's hard to, I don't want to get into the camera. Right there. Oopsie. Yeah, you saw that oops, right? That's going to be covered, so it doesn't matter. I do a lot of oops. That's why I think I don't do tutorials, because I do things, I don't know, as I go. I don't plan. I admire people that have lists and steps, and it's amazing. I can't. I don't create that way. I just do it. Okay, so here. See how I was off center just a tad bit? So because it's a smidge, I just come and just because I moved it, I couldn't see. It's awkwardly to do it from a sitting position. I usually have my face in my subject. Okay, so here we go. And there we go, see? I think I like it. Let me cut just a tad bit over here on this side. I think I like that. Okay. I need an eraser because I know this is in the corner. So there we go. Okay, that's all. See how it was fixed? So now I take and again ink up the edges. I do it after, but I decided to do it this way so you can see it. Doesn't really matter what it looks like that. Get your glue. Edges again. Come on. Watch my dog. Oh, he didn't come running this time. Surprised. Oh, I hear him barking though in the background. His woof. All right. And we'll just place it here. I like this color because you can write if you wanted to. So here you go. Again, I didn't put a lot of glue, so I didn't get a lot of glue on there. Now you can cut both sides at the same time. I don't. Now I'm going to go on this side. I like that yellow. Put a little bit of yellow inside. Well, yeah. Let's do the yellow part. So again, same process. Now it's off a little bit here. I already see it, so I'm going to have to cut that off a little bit. So I'm going to go closer in. All right. Bam. This way. Maybe I won't have to fix it, but let's see. I fuzzy cut it. Now I'm not gonna embellish this one. I just wanted to show you my process. You measure it. And yep. I want it shorter because that side was in all great. And this side, I'm used to using the eyeball method. It works for me. All right, here we go. I think I'm a smidgen more. I like it. Okay, there we go. That one came out closer. This one, it's a little bit smaller. But again, I am not looking for perfection. I just like for my things to be different from one another. I actually look for more of personality in my art than perfection. I don't know if that makes any sense. And you can do the corners too before you, I just want it to be square, but you can definitely, you know what, let me do it just to show you. You can do this too, and it looks kind of cute. Round up the corners. I'm glad it was there. Okay. And then I'll show you each side what it looks like with rounded corners. And you can definitely round the corners on the cardstock too, if you wanted to. Okay. You go like this. And all the bubbles are out. This is like the best thing. You know how much I pay for this? Like 39 cents. And nice and crisp and flat. So it's rounded here. I'm gonna go a step further and I'm just gonna fuzzy cut the corner. Fuzzy cut. Fuzzy cut. Oh my goodness. My first tutorial. I'm sure if I continue to do these small projects, I'll get better and better. And you'll like my channel. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Oh, I was at the beach this summer so much. It was unbelievable. I loved it. That's why I'm so dark. I don't want winter to leave. So, see? And you slide it in there. Close it. And I know that I brought a piece of string. But I did want to do that. And you could tie a bow in the corner. Or here, you can make a purse. Or you could do it in a form of a gift. So, I mean, literally, I kind of like that, huh? Sky's the limit, how you can embellish this. Let me just do a little bowl on it. Because I'm using it, I don't want to embellish it because I don't know what the book is going to look like, but I just wanted to show you. Voila! So this is what it looks like with a bowl in the middle. So I hope that I inspired you somehow, and I wanted to thank my new subscribers for subscribing to my channel. I hope that as I make these little tutorials that you will tune in and see what I'm making. And yes, I forgot to do this one. Always do, I mean, I like to tie this. You can always put a little bead or something on here. I've done that before in my other tutorials. I mean, in my other journals, that if you wanted to go and look at them, you could get some sort of inspiration and ideas. But this is it. I hope you enjoy this. Share, please, with others if you think that it'll inspire someone. And I just want to remind you, go discover, explore something, and don't forget to inspire someone else. I'll see you in my next one. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.